Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Kim and welcome back to Uncommonkim. Happy Summerween. And by happy Summerween I mean we should be midway through by now. I'm filming this before it's even started. But we should be at least halfway through, if not near the end, which is heartbreaking. But I'm here with a Summerween haul, and by Summerween haul I mean mystery thriller haul. I came up with this idea because I was trying to come up with ideas for Summerween, and this was an easy option. So I have a bunch of thriller mysteries I've bought relatively recently that I'm going to show you. Basically, I have quite a few books to share with you. Yeah, basically I'm going to start with authors because I have quite a few books all by the same author, so I'm going to start with that and then I'll go on into others, basically. So let's begin. Okay, so we'll start with the one that I have the most books for, and that's Riley Sager. I went on a Riley Sager binge because I read my first Riley Sager for Summerween last year and I'm really interested to read some more. So the first one we have is Middle of the Night, which is the new release, which has literally just come out I think in the past week or so here in the UK. So I'm really excited to read this. This is on my Summerween TBR. So, synopsis. On the 15th of July 1994, 10-year-old Ethan and his best friend Billy fell asleep in the tent on a manicured lawn in a quiet New Jersey cul-de-sac. But in the morning, Ethan woke up alone and the tent had sliced open with a knife, and Billy was gone, never to be seen again. 30 years later, Ethan has returned to his childhood home, still desperate for answers. Who took Billy? Every night he kept awake by strange disturbances on the street, happening under the cover of darkness. Are they still out there? But as he tries to piece together the truth, he realises everyone in the neighbourhood have their own secrets. Only one thing is for certain: someone here took Billy. This isn't a bad neighbourhood. These aren't bad people. Are they? But yeah, I'm really excited to look to read this one. So I read The Only One Left last year and I loved it, to get 5 stars. So I'm really excited to read this one. Should be good. Now we have some of Riley Sager's backlist. So we have The Final Girls by Riley Sager. I know nothing about this. It was just on offer from World of Books. All 3 of these that are to come are all from World of Books. So the synopsis is absolutely massive, so we're not going to read it all. First there were 3, then there were 2. Can there only ever be one final girl? 10 years ago, college student Quincy went on vacation with 5 friends and came back alone, the only survivor of a horror movie scale massacre. In an instant, she became a member of a club no one wants to belong to, a group of similar survivors known in the press as a final girl. Lisa, who lost 9 sorority sisters to a college dropout knife. Sam, who went up against the sack man during her shift at the nightlight inn, and now Quincy, who ran bleeding through the woods to escape Pine Cottage and the man she refers to as him. 3 girls are all attempting to put their nightmares behind them, and with that, one another. Despite the media's attempts, they never met. Now Quincy is doing well, maybe even great, thanks to her prescription. She has a caring, almost, fiancé, Jeff, a popular baking blog, a beautiful apartment and a therapeutic presence in Coop, the police officer who saved her life all those years ago. Her memory won't even allow her to recall the events of that night. The past is in the past. That is, until Lisa, the first final girl, is found dead in her bathtub, wrists slit, and Sam, the second, appears on Quincy's doorstep. Blowing through Quincy's life like a whirlwind, Sam seems intent on making Quincy relive the past, with increasingly dire consequences, all of which make Quincy question why Sam has sought her out. And when new details about Lisa's death come to light, Quincy's life becomes a race against time as she tries to unravel Sam's truths from her lies, evade the police and hungry reporters, and almost crucially remember what really happened at Pine Cottage before what started 10 years ago is finished. So it sounds very similar to The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. I think this did come out first, however, but I feel like it's going to be very similar vibes to that, and I did enjoy that, so we can only but hope. Next we have Lock Every Door. I'm really excited because this is like a book of the month subscription book, and you can't get these in the UK because they don't ship over here. So I was well excited to see this when it turned up. From July 2019, book of the month, apparently. Hey ho. So, no visitors, no nights spent away from the apartment, no disturbing the other residents, all of whom are rich or famous or both. These are the only rules for Jewel Larson's new job as an apartment sitter at the Bartholomew. Okay. One of Manhattan's most glamorous and secretive buildings. Recently heartbroken and just plain broken, Jules is captivated by the splendour of her surroundings and accepts the terms, ready to leave her past life behind. As she gets to know the residents and staff at the Bartholomew, Jules finds herself drawn to fellow apartment sitter Ingrid, who comfortably reminds her of her sister who vanished 8 years ago. When Ingrid confides that Bartholomew is not what it seems, and that the dark history hidden beneath his gleaming facade is starting to frighten her, Jules brushes it off as a harmless ghost story until the next day, when Ingrid disappears. I do love when people disappear. I know it sounds bad, but like in a book setting, when people disappear, I feel like it's always great because you meet the characters beforehand, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're gone, and it just adds a bit of intrigue, I suppose, where usually when you start and the character is already missing, it's just a bit like, yeah, and like I have no connection to these characters, so interesting. And the final Riley Sager book I have is The House Across the Lake. I heard very mixed things about this. I've heard a lot of people like it, and I've heard a lot of people don't. So I bought it anyway just to see what my thoughts are, as I've decided to like step back from listening to what other people think and doing my own thing. So that's what I'm doing. So, recently widowed actress Casey Fletcher has escaped to her family lake house for peace and quiet. She's been happily losing herself in her thoughts and several bottles of bourbon until the glamorous couple across the lake catch her attention. They look so perfect, just like Casey and her husband used to be. But is anyone what they seem? Is Casey as perfect as she thinks? She has a detective sat at her kitchen table. She has a man bound and gagged upstairs. She's about to uncover a dark truth so life-changing that nothing will ever be the same again. I can see why people were drawn to this just by that, because you're kind of interested to see what it is this woman has done. But I can maybe from that understand why people didn't like it, because maybe jack shit happened, but who knows. But yeah, A House Across the Lake. The next author I'm going to talk about is Jack Jordan. So I have Conviction and his new release, Redemption by Jack Jordan. I also have Do No Harm, which I haven't read yet, which I believe is more like a medical thriller. I think it's like about a surgeon who ends up like killing patients or something along those lines. I'll talk about Conviction first, since that came out first. I have no idea what either of these books are about. Jack Jordan's like a, I don't know, I just got a funny feeling I'm gonna like his books. So I do believe this is like a court thriller, if that makes sense. So, a case that could make her career, a man's freedom in her hands, his life or hers. What would you be willing to sacrifice for justice? Wade Darling stands accused of murdering his family. Neve Harper is barrister defending him. The odds aren't in her favour, but Neve has always liked a challenge. Days before the trial begins, Neve is approached by a man late at night on the tube. She doesn't know him, but he knows her, and the secrets she's vowed to take to her grave. The man tells her she must throw her client's case. If she doesn't, he will reveal her darkest act in the world. Neve must make a choice, go against every principle she's ever had, or watch everything she's built be destroyed. Guilty, innocent, his freedom or hers. Sounds quite good actually, to be fair. I'm quite into like thrillers that involve like court cases. I quite enjoy those. There's a little bit of glimpse of it in like Good Girls Guide to Murder. We get glimpses and it's a vibe. So I am excited to read this one. I don't know if I'll get through it in Summerween, but I plan on reading mainly mystery thrillers throughout the entirety of July. So hopefully I'll get to it this month. If not, maybe it will be like a September-October book for Halloween, because Halloween starts in September. And then we have Redemption, which is his new release. Literally came out like last week. Again, no idea what this is about, but you could get signed copies, so I did. Aaron Alexander has just been released from prison after serving 11 years for causing the death of Joshua Moore in a hit and run. Now a free man, all he wants to do is stay on the straight and narrow and leave his troubled past behind him. But for Joshua's mother, Evelyn, 11 years in jail isn't nearly enough. Consumed by grief and rage, she has been waiting for Aaron's release, counting down the days until she can exact the revenge he deserves, and now that time has finally come. However, as Evelyn and her husband Tobias embark on a road trip to track Aaron down, they find themselves caught on two different sides of the gripping game of cat and mouse, because Tobias knows what Evelyn is planning, and he will do everything to save her from herself, even if it means protecting the man who killed their son. Again, I feel like this is a very interesting story. I haven't really heard it done before, or I haven't read anything personally where this kind of plot line has happened, but I'm still really interested in it. I have like a few predictions on how this may go, but I don't know, we'll see. If you would like to see a vlog where I just read all three of Jack Jordan's books, let me know, because I can do a vlog based around that, as I'm really interested to see what my thoughts are on his writing, but also just all three books in general, so let me know. And now we've just got a pile of like rando books, basically. The first two are the second and third book in the Housemaid like series by Frida McFadden. I'm planning on reading The Housemaid, which is the first book, in Summerween, so I wanted to get the next two just in case I wanted to read them. Yes, I have a problem. But I've got them, so I pre-ordered this came out like last week, the week before, and I picked this up from Waterstones. So I have no idea what The Housemaid is really about, but I just wanted to pick these two up to have them in case I really enjoyed The Housemaid. I will be doing a vlog of me reading The Housemaid along with another book for a vlog for Summerween, so definitely keep your eye open for that if you want to know my opinions. But let me know if you've read this series or even just read the first book, and let me know what you think of it. I'd love to know, because I've heard good things, but that's just from TikTok, and TikTok lies. So I'd love to know people's actual opinions. Next we have Local Woman Missing by Mary Kabuka? Not sure. This again, TikTok made me buy it. But apparently I went basically, long story short, I went for a load of TikTok videos to seeing what recommendations people had for thriller and mysteries, and this came out quite a few times, so I'm quite excited to see what this is about and why people liked it. Riley Sager has blurbed it, so a vibe. So I have no idea what this is about, so let's read the synopsis. You'll never find her, don't even try. When a local woman, no, a local mother and her 6-year-old daughter, Delilah, suddenly vanish. Their close-knit suburban community is rocked by fear and suspicion. How could such a terrible thing happen in such a small town? Then 11 years later, Delilah shockingly reappears. Everyone wants to know what really happened to her, but there are secrets hidden deep in the past, and when the truth about those missing years begin to surface, no one is prepared for what they're about to find out. I feel like a lot of mystery thrillers have the same plot. Obviously they vary very much between each other, but it's always someone goes missing, years later they come back. But why? Why are they back? And I just feel like a lot of them are the same. So I hope this is different, because I don't want to have to read the same shit 10 times in 1 month. Next we have The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman. This is the 4th book in the Thursday Murder Club series, and I'm super excited to read this one. I'm also really fucking nervous because so many people have cried at this book and I'm not ready for that. But if you didn't know, Thursday Murder Club follows 4 elderly people in a retirement home in the UK. They're your typical British old people. If you are British, you'll know. And they have formed a group together called the Thursday Murder Club, and every Thursday they try and solve unsolved crime stories, basically. They get in a whole heckin' load of trouble, and they're absolutely hilarious, and Elizabeth is who I aspire to be when I'm an old lady. But it is such a good series. I really do recommend it. But this is the 4th book. I don't know if this is the last one. I don't think it is, but I have heard this is a really hard book to read, which makes me nervous, but it's okay. Make it through, it'll be fine. But yeah, cannot wait to read this one. Next we have one that I just noticed a lot of people talking about on BookTube and also Bookstagram, which is Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak, which I believe is thriller, horror, book. I don't really know an awful lot about this. I think Steph has read this, and I think that's where my main this vibe came from, that I wanted to read this, basically. So let's read the synopsis together. Mallory is delighted to have a new job looking after gorgeous 5-year-old Teddy. She's been sober for 1.5 years, and she's sure her nannying role in the affluent suburbs will help keep her on the straight and narrow. That is until Teddy starts to draw disturbing pictures of his imaginary friend, Anya. It is quite clear to Mallory and to Teddy's parents, even in the crude, childlike style, that the woman Teddy is drawing in his pictures is dead. Teddy's crayons are confiscated and his paper locked away, but the drawings somehow keep coming, telling a frightening story of a woman murdered, and they're getting more sophisticated. But if Teddy isn't drawing the pictures anymore, who is? And what are they trying to tell Mallory about her new home? I swear to God, if this has got creepy kids, creepy kids, creepy dolls, any of that shit, I hate it. Thank you, Lauren, from Lauren Tessa 12. Absolute pain in my arse. I have a fear of creepy children in horror films. And dolls. Annabelle. Looking at you, girl. And I swear to God, if this has got anything to do with that, I'm gonna cry. And the last book has been going around a lot the past month or so. I think there was a book club or something where they read this, and it is Murder Road by Simone St. James. This is my first Simone St. James. I'm quite excited to read this, as I hear a lot of people talking about this recently. So yeah, let's read the synopsis. April and Eddie have taken a wrong turn, and now they're on a long dark road late at night when they see a woman up ahead, clearly in trouble. They stop and pick her up. It's only once she's in the car that they see the blood. Then headlights appear in the distance, racing towards them at speed, and at long last the woman speaks. "I'm sorry, he's coming." While April and Eddie are able to escape, this time their terrifying adventure is only just beginning. The hitchhiker's injuries prove fatal, and the couple are trapped in the small town of Cold Lake Falls, prime suspects in the eyes of the local police. It turns out that this isn't the first victim to die on this stretch of road, and it isn't the first time that survivors have seen something they can't explain. But to get out of town, April and Eddie are going to have to drive down that haunted stretch of road one more time. Sounds really good. Like, that's a vibe. I'm really excited to read this. I think it was like Gabby did a book club where they read it or something. I'm not too sure, but a vibe. But yeah, that is my Summerween book haul. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like, subscribe if you're new, and leave a drop of blood if you made it to the end of the video, and let me know if you've read any of these. Let me know what your thoughts were, and I will see you very soon. Bye.